have a customer who is asking me if I can do a sign for them, and they sent me some pictures here. This. And when they send me pictures, I normally just email them to myself to get them on the computer. And when you save it, it's in like the right kind of file already. Because if you take it on an iPhone, it will not let you bring the picture up. So there's these. I'm probably going to try to do this one that's easy here, so it doesn't take too long. But there's a couple. Sometimes you can take stuff into Paint, or I have Coral Draw. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. This one here, I actually think I might be able to get it close, but I'm just going to trace it to show you how most of them will have to be done. And this is for anything that you take a picture of and want to put in. I mean, 90% of the time, this is how you have to go about it. But all I do is I'll get my line tool, and I'm just sort of tracing an outline for the first part of it here. And I'll go, let's see. And when I come here, when I pick these points, those are my tangents. Well, they're close to what a tangency point may be. A tangency point is just where a curve turns to straight. And you'll see why I do that. Here, let me just go around this real quick. Here. And you could do a little section in here and then curve that line. There's two ways to do that. You can do it like that. Here would be another example. Like I come to a straight or a corner, I could put a little line here and bend it to my curve, or what you can do is we'll leave one like this. I'll show you that too. Sometimes tracing stuff, it does seem like, it does take a little longer, sort of, but when you get done, it's way, way, way easier to work with the lines. Because when you put a picture in, and it's called, they just call it vectorizing. It's this little tool down here. When you vectorize something, it takes its own lines and takes a picture and tries to make its own lines out of the picture. It really, black and white is your best bet to get it close, but even then, it doesn't seem to work out the greatest because the pixel content, I guess, I'm not so familiar with that stuff, but a picture will look good, when you open it in something else, like a photo viewer, but when you import it into here, and you start like really zooming in, you can see how distorted it gets, and it has a hard time vectorizing the image to something that's usable. A lot of times I'll have a bunch of, I can vectorize this one when we're done and show you. As you can see, the tracing takes longer, but in the end, it's probably faster. Okay, now, on something like this, I should have came up here. On something like this, typically, let me get rid of this here. Typically, what's easier, if you got an image like this, cut that. We're going to cut that. Okay, you're going to get rid of this. And what we're going to do is move this back. We're going to take this and add a line to it. This is where I should have done. Anyway, yeah, if it's an image like this, you can take it and you can run it straight up. And also, a lot of times, whenever you it's hard to get this line, going exactly where you want it. I'm not sure it's going to do it here, but if you hold down the shift key, it'll let it keeps lines straight as you do them. Okay, take that line up there. And here's what I'll say about these curves. You wonder, like, well, what do you do about all these straight curves? You choose this tool right here. We'll see what it's called. Yeah, just points edit. Now, if it's got a red thing, like I said, it's got subtools, and we're going to use one of those too. You hold and click this down. There's videos on all this stuff too to watch. Stored, yeah, there's videos on all that stuff. We're just going to choose the first one for now, and you'll go and you'll take them in. This is why you go to what, I don't know if it's necessarily a tangency point, but you know, a good point for a circle, so it comes out even. And you can go, and we'll kind of do one like that. That's pretty straight. And then, like I said, sometimes you get to corners. There's two ways. These are both little corners right here. There's two ways to do them. You can put a little spot there, you know, like this, if you want, or exit out of that. You just right-click to exit. You can hold this down, and this is a curved corners tool, smooth approximation tool. So what you'll do is you'll go and you'll click a point here, and you'll click a point down here, and you can see that it puts a curve in it right here. I actually like it a little bit better, and then you hit enter, and you get done. It's either way, however you prefer to do it. Probably get rid of this. You can get rid of that line there. Like I said, I'm not going to try and get this too perfect. Although, I think I do have to do one for a customer, so I might as well. Bring this out here. That's terrible. This might take a little bit of a spot. Right here. Okay. I'm not even gonna trace I'm not gonna trace this stuff, but typically you go and do the same thing. Well, I say that. Let's just trace it. Get the full grasp of what's going on here. Crow, you suck. Let's see. Take that. The EnRoute part of running all this stuff is, it's fun to mess with. There's a lot of stuff you can start dipping into. I've done like 3D. There's programs you can go buy, and people have pre-made. They have 3D animals. They're like puzzle pieces. And you cut all the pieces out, and you can go piece them together and weld them. And people have already made those, and you can get a lot of that stuff on the internet if you're able to find it. But the internet you just got to do some searching, but you can find a lot of free stuff, a lot of free AutoCAD files that people have already done. And basically, they're nice because somebody, like if they wanted a bumper for a truck, like an Iron Cross bumper or whatever they are, then people have laid them out already, and you just scale it to whatever size you're wanting, and all the pieces are already made for you, and they're exactly right. So you just scale everything to the same size or however big you're wanting, and everything, all the parts will come out exact, and they will fit right up, and you don't have to go and do the hard part and measure and figure all that stuff out. It just takes a little bit of searching on the internet. not sure, we'll leave that one. Like for this, for instance, I don't necessarily, I mean, it's not bad, I guess, but there's like a little kink, almost looks like right here. Well, you just take your smooth approximation tool here, and you can click here, and you can click here, and it puts a nice little curve to it like it needs. There's that. Next thing we got left is what, this star. I'm not gigantically concerned about getting it exactly right, but there's a star tool over here if you click it. We got 5 points on it, and you can pull this star right, just go from the center-ish and pull out. Pretty easy. Like I said, it's not a huge deal if this star isn't an exact. We'll just leave that. Actually, you know, this isn't going to work out with this star. We're going to get rid of this star and put it in there next. Get rid of the star. Yeah, we didn't put it on there anyway. Okay. Take your picture, move it off to the side, whatever you want to do. Take your contour tool and get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of the line up the middle. Leave that. What you can do is just, you can do half of objects, so you don't have to trace so much. Right click, mirror, go down here and copy it, because it makes another copy of it, and mirror it. You can choose different directions, however you want it to go, however it works itself out. Obviously here, I think we're going to want this, and you apply it. Pretty much right there now, you know. I mean, if the object's different on one side, which this is a little bit, I wouldn't worry about it on this necessarily. And then you could go in here and you could put your own star, I'd say. I mean, I don't think it's too crucial on the star, in my opinion here, but you can do it. Oh. Let's, now when you put your star down, you got to leave it where you want it. You got to hit enter, and you got to hit enter again. You got to hit it twice. So that's how you go and copy, like I said, any shape. You're going to get stuff from the shop that you're going to have to trace an outline around, and this is how you go about doing it. When you get done, merge this. Maybe. But go anyway, you'll go and clean it up, do whatever you need to do, merge it, figure out where your spot's at. It's probably right here where they meet. Always is. Yep. Bring a tool here. And right now I got my snaps. My endpoint snap is what this is. Like a lot of times these two will connect. But if they don't, if it's not snapping to your point, what it is, you just right click it and go down here to close your contour, and it'll finish completing what you're wanting to do then. And there might be another spot up top here, I don't know. Nope, we're good. And there is your skull. Obviously there's a little spot here, a little thing there, but anyway, you get the gist of it. All the signs you do, or I do, or whatever, this is how I have to go about them. Like, I don't know if I have these other signs on here. Even stuff that's like detailed, like this right here. I mean, a lot of times in the end, you can get a skull maybe off the internet and try to plug it in, but you know, it takes a while to mess around with. And like by the time you get done with it, you're almost better just to go and take your time and trace everything. Although it seems like a lot, it kind of is, but when you get done with it, it's really workable. Here, and then, so I said you can vectorize something, okay. Let me see what else I got to choose from, so that maybe it doesn't have to take so long to load up. I'm going to vectorize an image for you. Let's just try this. Okay, it's going to vectorize this. And this is a pretty good quality photo, I mean, for the most part. So let's back this out, and you're going to vectorize. Not sure what all this stuff means. You can look it up. automatic cleanup. We'll leave it 0 for now and click OK. A lot of times photos that are in color, have all the color, not black and white, they take a long time to process because it's trying to make so many different lines for every color change almost. Processing. I think I was saying earlier, oh yeah, the EnRoute, it's really, there's a lot of stuff on it for help. Up at the top there at the help, there's all kinds of movies to watch on it. There's a lot, I get on forums a lot of times, and during the day you can call ShopSaver and ask for a tech. And these guys are like super helpful. They build the machine and they know how to run it, and they know how to run the machine and EnRoute and other programs. Super helpful guys. And this has taken quite a while. But yeah, they always help out. Anytime you need anything, you can call as many times as you want. I mean, that's how I've learned a lot of this stuff. And let's see. As you can see, this is what it tries to do. Not very usable. Well, it's not usable. I'm going to get rid of this. Come on. Get rid of that. Let's bring in a black and white. Let's bring in this one. This photo here is black and white, and even it's still, when you get zoomed in your pixels, and they're just not there. So even when you try to vectorize something like this, it'll be close, but you can see that it's not the most effective. This is how a lot of stuff will come out, and it's just, not that good. Sometimes you can, like I said, I got CorelDRAW. You can learn it and smooth up some of this stuff, and it helps it out to bring it in and process it right. But most of the time, you got to trace it. And that is going to be it for this. This is just like a demonstration for signs, and I do the sign demonstration because the signs are the hardest to do. People want custom stuff. They want part of this and part of this mixed together, and the signs take the most amount of work, the longest. They're actually like the hardest to cut. So if you can learn signs, that's kind of how I did. I learned to do signs first, and if you can do signs, I'm sure you can cut brackets and do all the other stuff. It almost comes pretty easy, but